All right, now we're ready to hand sand and prep for finish. When I've got the instrument in this stage, I always wear a glove. Now, you probably saw in the last video, I didn't wear gloves, so I guess I shouldn't say always. I can't wear a glove and do the precision work required to get the bridge lined up. But I don't want to get any of my oils from my hand underneath the finish. Especially true on a gloss finish, not so much on an oil finish, but I think it's just a good practice. So I'm going to put my nut away in the little drawer. Now when you sand, you know, the oil finish is very demanding. It shows every little thing. So I've got 3 pads here. I'm going to sand all the way up to 600 grit. 320, 400, and 600. This is Mirka Q Silver sandpaper. We've tested a lot of sandpapers. We like it the best. It's Velcro back and or hook and loop. And we've got these cool little pads that we can use. Come in a variety of shapes and sizes. All right. Aaron used a great term when he was sanding with the orbital. He said he thinks of it like painting. And you got to paint that surface, and ideally you will see the paint go on the surface. So what I'm looking for here is evidence of orbital marks, and I'm looking to sand them away. Often what you see when you're looking for orbital marks, often what you see is the sanding dust sticks just a little bit. If there's a deep mark from that orbital sander, the dust will stick in there and you'll be able to see that. All right, that's the headstock done. Now, I want to ease these edges a little. I don't like to have sharp edges on the instrument. You can see it's not hard to do. You can really overthink this part. I'm just trying to ease it, that's all. Really interesting feature on this Port Orford cedar neck. I don't know if you can see these dark lines. They almost look fake, but they're not. They're just part of the cool organic nature of this particular neck. Now, Aaron has already shaped this neck. He's already sanded it to 320 on the orbital. But I'm kind of making sure as I do this, you can see, I want to make sure I don't have any like edges, or I want it to be a smooth curve. I want to get really right up into that edge. You can see I'm going again with the grain. I don't want to go that way. Never go across the grain with this, because somehow it leaves deep scratches that you'll see forever. So I'm going to ease the edges around the heel cap. Again, with the grain. Really tempting to go against the grain in places like that. Don't do it. Doesn't matter what order you go in. I have a feeling Aaron and I go in an opposite order. Again, I'm just also trying to feel for any issues with the body, the issues you might get into, or maybe one of the belt sanders has left a little ridge. Tends to do it there or there. I look for that. I'm also looking, you know, Aaron used the scraper to get off excess glue. And I'm looking as I go through this. I want to make sure that we got it all. He does a really good job with that though, so looks good. All right, now to the back again with the grain. When I'm doing finish work, I'm really concentrating with my eyes. I'm just trying to really look the instrument over for any issues that I might need to address. Thing with finish work is you want to get your issues addressed early. The later you leave them, it gets almost impossible to address the issues without leaving some witness. And the witness might just be a little inconsistency in the finish or just an inability to completely address the issue. So I feel in the rosette, Char's already sanded it, but I want to get it a little bit better. With the grain. All I'm doing here is getting out the orbital marks that were left in this by 320 grit sandpaper. Right now I'm looking at, the other thing I'm looking at is like the rosette, and I'm looking at the binding, and I want to see if there are any gaps. I'm not going to fix them now. That's one where you want to wait one step because I want to get finish on the instrument before I put any additional fill or glue on it. So what I look for there is, again, if sanding dust, because you can see it as this little light spot. And I might be seeing a little bit around the rosette. I'm not going to be sure till I get to another step. No, it's just residue. But it's almost impossible to see voids right now. But once you get a coat of finish on it, the finish is shiny, the voids are not. And so I can hold it up to my halogen lights to look for those. Now, as long as I mentioned lights, let me tell you that I think lighting, it seems mundane, but it's incredibly important. I'm working under a set of intense fluorescence and point or spot halogens here. And I'm doing it because they're at different places in the spectrum, and they will point out different issues that I might have with the finish. If you just use one light, I guarantee you, one type of light, one spectrum, I'll guarantee you there will be issues with the finish, or if there are, you won't be able to see them. So I'm now done with my 320. I'm going to go on to my 400 and my 600. I'm not going to force Char to stand there with the videotape recorder while I do that, nor for you to listen to it sanding, because there's nothing to it. I'm going to go over the instrument again, and all I'm doing at that point is getting out the scratches from the 320 paper, and I'll take it to 600, and the next you'll see me, we'll be putting some oil on this instrument. Thanks.